Hello tarantula lovers, I'm Alex and you're watching Tarantula Haven. That poster was a gift to me from my wife. She said I needed something to decorate the background, so she bought me that and it was a surprise. I didn't know she'd done it, but it's pretty cool. I like it, and some people said that I should put my logo and stuff up there, but I don't know, I didn't feel right putting it back there and being half concealed anyway, so that just kind of fit nicely there. I was hoping that this video would be an unboxing video of Fear Not Tarantula's mystery box event, but I'm a big dummy, and when I was picking out the mystery boxes that me and my daughter wanted, I was so excited I wasn't even looking at the shipping dates for the mystery boxes, and it's clearly marked. It says that they won't be shipping until June 15th, which means that I won't be getting mine until June 16th, which is a Tuesday, and right now it is Saturday. So I'm not doing a mystery box event today. I'm going to do it for the next one. So I'm sorry if I got your hopes up for nothing, but I didn't see the shipping dates on that. Today's video is very exciting nonetheless. At least it's incredibly exciting for me. I hope it's exciting for you. You've seen the title of the video, and I'm very excited and I'm a little scared at the same time because sometimes these things don't go so well. Today I am pulling my Poecilotheria subfusca's egg sac. Today marks day 27 since she's made it. Most people will pull it at day 30, but a few days early is okay as well. I've been real quiet about this one. For one, I didn't really know how well the pairing was going to go. Another thing is that their courtship rituals with pokies, at least, is usually a long time. There's a lot of back and forth that goes on. So sometimes it can last for hours, and I could possibly be sitting there with a camera and not capture anything. But mostly I wanted to be there and focused and not distracted with the camera trying to record everything. I wanted to have the tongs ready to protect my male because sometimes these things go badly, and if you can use your tongs to kind of intervene and get between the male and the female if something goes bad, then you can usually rescue your male. And I don't know if you know about pokies, but pokies are fast as lightning. Anyway, my male survived the encounter, and I've sent him off to Illinois to a friend, and I've sent him off to stud, and hopefully he's passing on his genes and not getting chomped by an angry female.
It scorched their souls like an angry woman. Oh, like an angry woman.
I'm pulling the egg sac today because it is the weekend. I'm making a video, and I just can't contain myself any longer. The last pokey sac that I had was from my Poecilotheria regalis, and I had gone on vacation to California when she had made the sac, and when I came back it was day 32, I think, for the sac, and when I looked in there she was in the process of eating the sac. So I don't want to leave it in there too long for fear that maybe the same thing might happen with this one, and this is an important species. Not that my P. regalis wasn't important to me, or those slings, that egg sac. It's just that the P. subfusca is a lot less common, and because of the ban, we can no longer sell them across state lines. So it's important to breed this species, especially because we can no longer import it from that country. Fortunately, my Psalmopoeus cambridgei had a sac at the same time, and I was able to do a video on that one. But when that happened, I was completely unprepared because I knew the sac was there. I was watching it. I was counting the days as to when I would pull it. But much to my surprise, I looked in there one day and the sac had opened, and I had hundreds of little babies crawling around in there with mama. So that left me with what to do with all these babies, and I didn't have all my tubs prepared. I didn't have any kind of incubator or anything like that for them. So my incubator became the top of my aquarium, which is where the lights are, of course, and that kept it nice and warm. But I did suffer quite a few losses of those P. cambridgei. I think I suffered about 40% of my slings die off, which is not good. I still had quite a few slings left. It was my first successful egg sac, and it was a learning experience, and I did learn some lessons. So this time around I am prepared, and I have all my stuff ready because this is too important a species for me to just be messing around. So this video is going to kind of be a half and half DIY with an egg sac opening at the end. I'm going to talk about setting up brooding tubs for your eggs, or eggs with legs hopefully. And I'm also going to go over how I set up a mini fridge into an incubator. And then finally, I'm going to pull the egg sac from mom and open it up and see what's inside. So let's get on with it.
I'm at my school and I apologize if I'm a little bit sweaty. It's hot in here. They don't have the AC on. And I have this old snake rack right here that I no longer need. I don't keep snakes, or I have a few, but I no longer breed them. And I don't really have a need for it. But inside here, there's some very valuable heat tape that I need to salvage so that I can create an incubator for my spiderlings. I've got an egg sac that is getting ready to emerge real soon, and I've got some other breeding projects going on, so that heat tape's going to come in handy if I can make an incubator for them and try to maximize my yield, I guess, or to try to minimize the amount of deaths in the slings due to heat or lack of heat.
I wanted to salvage these locking tabs because I kind of save everything that I feel I can use later on, so you never know what you might need on a future project. Oh my god, there were so many screws. I discovered that this snake rack was very well made. I couldn't take it apart. I couldn't take the side off of it because not only did they screw it all down, they also glued it together. So I was forced to unscrew the flex tape that was inside and slide it out from inside.
So this is what I was after, and it's got some bad spots in it if you're freaking out about me dismantling my snake rack. It wasn't any good anymore. There were some spots where it got too hot and it melted through, but there are some nice spots in here that I could salvage and still use for my incubator.
And here you can see those hot spots and where they melted through, and those were caused by not being able to regulate it very well. I didn't have a nice rheostat, so I was not able to regulate the temperature as well as I would like. So what I'm making here is a tub for the eggs, or the eggs with legs, hopefully. And the reason I'm putting the blue painter's tape on it is because the lid was a little bit harder plastic, and if I drilled through that, it would crack. So when you drill, you have to be careful and pretty much let the weight of the drill make the hole and not push down, because if you push down, you will definitely crack it. Some deli tubs already come with holes in the lids with some fabric or paper on there. I'm making my own because I didn't have one and I didn't order any, so I figured I would just make a homemade one. And when you drill holes into the bottom part of this plastic, it's not as hard as the lid, so it was a lot easier to do. And the coffee filter is what will hold the slings, and it goes right in there. So the 32-ounce deli tub is basically just to hold water, and the sling enclosure fits right on top, just like that. I'm turning this mini fridge into an incubator, and this is a fridge that I had in my classroom several years ago. My son accidentally left the door open one night or one day, and it was on a weekend, so I came in the following Monday and it was dead. It had burnt out the motor, so it was no good. And I held on to it all this time because I had plans of turning it into an incubator for snakes, but I'm no longer keeping snakes or breeding snakes, but now I'm breeding tarantulas, and it's still going to be used as an incubator. So I'm glad I held on to it all these years, and this is, yeah, me doing that. I'm removing any cables here on the back. Don't need those. I thought about removing the compressor, but I just didn't want to mess with the weight of the fridge. And I also need to change the door to where it opens on the other side. Some of you may not know that you can do that, but yeah, almost all fridges are equipped to where you can put the door to open on either side. And this screw right here turned out to be really stubborn. It was fused, so I had to use vice grips to get it loose. So now the flex watt tape, I'm removing the contacts that are providing electricity for the tape, and I'm going to reuse these, but I need to cut them off of this area so that I can find a nice undamaged strip of flex watt tape that I can use for my heating for my incubator. And I don't have any more of those clips, and I'm going to use 2 strips of flex watt tape. So what I'm doing here is I'm using salvaged wire from the refrigerator, and I'm going to use that to make the contacts for the 2 strips of flex watt tape. To prep the wire, I first solder the ends of the wire so that they have a nice area that will stick to the flex watt tape. In order to bond the wire to the flex watt, I have to melt off the plastic from the copper strips so that it has a clean area to bond to. And finally, I'll recrimp the contacts for the electrical circuit, and this will provide electricity to the rest of the flex watt tape. And now I'm drilling a hole in the back of the fridge that's going to lead to the bottom so that I can pass the cable through for the flex watt tape, and I'll reseal that later with some foam. And once I have the FlexWatt tape in place, I'm using actual heat tape in order to hold the FlexWatt tape down. It's recommended you use heat tape because other tapes will get loose with some heat. The adhesive will just melt off. For my thermometer, I'm just using a cheap AccuRite thermometer. I can stick the sensor inside the fridge and keep the thermostat on the outside so I can see what the temperature is inside. So it's working pretty good. It seems to be regulating at a 82, 81 degree temperature, which is pretty good. And to regulate the temperature, I'm using a ZoomEd RepiTemp thermostat, and it's got a little dial in there for low and high temperatures. And as you can see, it's got a little thermostat sensor in the bottom, and there's my sensor for my thermometer. So not too bad. It seems to be working pretty good. I'm really glad this incubator is working out well. It stays about a constant 82. It fluctuates between 81 83, but usually it's around 82 degrees. Most people will keep their slings or their eggs at about 80 degrees. So a little bit over, I don't think it's going to hurt anything. I wasn't too sure about that FlexWatt tape. There was a lot of bad areas in it. Some parts had just melted completely through, but I think I was able to salvage some good stuff on there. It's working, so that's the plus right there. And that ZoomEd thermostat is ancient, so I wasn't even sure about that. I don't even think they make that one anymore. Everything that I've seen online is digital now, so I may have to upgrade that later on. But right now it's working, so I'm just going to leave things alone and be happy with it. I also wanted to thank my friend Shanti of Tarantulas with Shanti. If you haven't seen her channel, you should check it out. I contacted her for some advice on setting up my incubator. She's become quite the tarantula breeder. She's bred quite a few species recently here. And she was suffering some losses with her Carabiner versicolor, and someone suggested that she put them in an incubator. So after she created her incubator, she suffered 0 losses, which is definitely something that is good. And so I wanted to pick her brain about it so that I would make sure that mine would be set up correctly and that it would work out as well. I also wanted to add that you don't necessarily need a mini fridge in order to create an incubator. Everything that I used in creating that incubator were things that I already had. The only thing that came out of pocket was basically the tubs that I bought for making the brooding tubs, which I think I got at the Dollar Tree, and the thermometer that I bought from Walmart for like 10 bucks, and some batteries. So everything else is just stuff that I'd collected over time. You can make an incubator out of a 10-gallon aquarium. You would need something to provide heat, like a reptile heat mat, and something to control the temperature of that heat mat, like a ZoomEd thermostat, or you can even use a dimmer cord, which is used for dimming lights, like on a lamp or something like that. When you dim it down, it actually reduces the amount of electricity going to that heat mat, which in turn lowers the temperature so it doesn't get too hot. And then you would need some kind of thermometer, like the cheap one that I bought to use in my incubator. You don't have to break the bank to create an incubator. Unless you can afford to break the bank, then knock yourself out. You fancy bank breaking Monopoly man, you or woman. All right, so the moment you've all been waiting for, let's go ahead and pull that egg sac. All right, here goes nothing. And turn her around here so y'all can see. There's that nice fat egg sac right there. And she's been a good mama. I was tempted to just leave them in there with her, but nah, they're too important. All right, here we go. And I am nervous because this is a pokey and it is significant venom, so I have to be real careful because she is not going to be happy. I think I'm going to remove some of this webbing here. Is. And there is the target. All right, let's see what we can do here. Oh. Oh. Give it up, give it up. Nope. You just took that right back from me. Come on, baby. Boy, she is strong. Come on. Oop. All right. She is not happy. All right, so there is the egg sac. And it's got a little bit of heft to it. Feels pretty good. So let's see what's inside. Okay. Let's open this baby up. Let's see what we got inside. It's amazing how tough the webbing is around an egg sac. Oh, there we are. And I am seeing eggs with legs. Isn't that the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? Wow. Unbelievable. I'm so happy. You ever have that feeling when you feel like you need to pinch yourself just to make sure something is real? That's how I feel right now. This is just incredible for me. This is a dream come true. My favorite pokey species, and I've got a successful egg sac. So the only thing left to do is to go ahead and put them in the incubator. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it into the deli tub here. I've got to fill this with water here so that they don't dry out. Close it up, drop them in the incubator, and they should be good to go. For my ASMR people, all right, so we've got our water. Put these into the tub. Gotta be real careful. And this is ventilated, so I'll put that on top and drop this in here. So the bottom of the little tub is not touching the water, but the water's right there. The heat will evaporate the water, which will cause it to keep the eggs moist, or the eggs with legs. And you keep them here until they start developing, and then they should develop into nice, big, healthy tarantulas. So that is it for me today. I hope you enjoyed it. Whew, well, I was on cloud 9 when my pecan bridgite had her slings. I am 100 times above that right now. I'm walking on air. This is just incredible. My favorite pokey to be having a successful egg sac. I don't know if I can top that that feeling right now, but thank you so much for being there with me on this part of the journey. Hopefully there will be many more of these to come. And that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. I have a Teespring store where I sell Tarantula Haven merchandise. All the proceeds from that Tarantula Haven merchandise will go directly to help grow and support this channel. Until next time, keep loving them tarantulas.